Are we live? Are we doing this thing?
Coming at you live.
Tip of the tongue. Here we are, folks. Episode 12. Curtis McKibben, Chase Green. These guys just keep coming back. I'm not really sure how to put it, fellas, but we're here. Guys, we are coming to you live right now this Monday night from Wind Down in Ottawa, Tennessee. Of course, north of Chattanooga, south of Knoxville. So if anybody in the area happens to be passing through Chattanooga, go through your Google Maps, wind down, find these guys. They've got killer drink specials. They've got fantastic food, happy hour specials. They've got a killer Sunday brunch. And right here in Cambridge Square in Ottawa, right off of exit 11 on I-75. So, guys, what else is new?
Well, like you said, here at this beautiful spot in Cambridge Square. If you guys have never been here in Ottawa, this place is hopping now.
Yeah,
awesome.
Like, there's Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah,
there's everything.
Starbucks is coming.
Yeah, it's everything. It's crazy how much this place has grown. But we want your interaction also. We want your questions. We want your comments. We want anything you have to tell us. If we're bad, if we're good. Probably more bad.
Yeah, just don't talk about the bad.
Yeah. Actually, just tell us we're good. Just lie to us. And
Lie to me. Every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mm-hmm. You know, if you love America, if you went out and voted in the midterms, that was a share, a like, because we love America. You know, we went out and voted in the midterms.
We did.
I voted.
Did you vote? Okay, I voted. Don't put me in that position.
What's your finger?
Did you get a sticker? I didn't see yours.
I didn't. Yeah, you didn't take a picture of it.
All right, we're gonna do this real quick. For the record. In Cleveland, the old folks' home. My wife can attest. I got there and I was fantastically happy, and she's like, "Well, sir, we're actually out of I voted stickers." Yeah. Anyways,
You didn't vote if you didn't get a sticker.
Anyways,
but throw us a like, man. Seriously, if you've watched the show before, we're gonna have Trey Wallace on tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, big news. I'm actually pulling him up right now to get him live with us here. But for everyone watching, if you don't know who Trey Wallace is, I'm going to kind of give him a short promotion right quick. But he is actually the host of It's Optional on Fox Sports Knoxville. Goes 1 to 3 Eastern Standard every single day. Going to call him right now, so if he picks up, we'll roll with it. But for everybody watching, he's also a college football writer, college basketball writer for the Read Optional. So follow Trey on Twitter at Trey Wallace, Trey. Hey, Trey, what's going on? It's Trey with Chat 10 Sports, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good deal. Sorry about that. Hey, how are you tonight, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just kind of working on a story, and other than that, man, just kind of relaxing a little bit, trying to put together a couple stories, and that's about it. How about y'all?
They're doing very good.
Doing too good, dude.
I've got Chase Green and Kurt McKibben here with me, brother. We're obviously we were just giving you a little promotion as far as It's Optional and the Read Optional as well, and pushing everybody to follow you on Twitter because you're fantastic. You're one of my favorite guys to watch as a Vols fan. So other Vols fans, if you're watching this live broadcast right now, jump on over after the show and give Trey a follow. But Trey, obviously, the Vols coming off of a big win against Kentucky, number 11 team. This entire season, I'll be the first to confess, I've been very hard on Tyson Helton. And it's something that there's been the adjustment. There's been the time with Jarrett Garantano to adjust to the new scheme. But I'm curious to know, what's been your assessment of Tyson Helton's play calling and just overall role as offensive coordinator for the Vols this year?
I think it's been, look, the first 6 games of the year, first 7 games of the year, you've got to understand that, you know, Trey Smith is not 100% healthy along that offensive line. They're having to mix and match what he's going to do in terms of being able to run the football and how he's going to play golf. They did a good job, I thought, in Auburn of being able to spread the ball downfield and let Callaway, Palmer, Jennings, let them make plays in the air on the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
He's gotten better, and I think he's gotten better, guys, because he's more comfortable with the dink and dunking and diving that he's been doing over the middle. And that's opened it up because, I mean, if you look at it, Tennessee is best when they get out open in space. And I know Tim Jordan is a bruiser up the middle.
Yeah.
But once you put Ty Chandler, and you saw it on Saturday, when they let Murphy come around to that end around for about a 50-yard game, it just shows you what Tyson Helton's trying to do with this offensive play call.
Yeah.
it's hard, guys. It's hard because he doesn't have the offensive line. But I will say this: I was very skeptical of him, and I still am of the play calling. But I think that if you let your players do the job they're supposed to do, then I think the big plays can come. My problem with the quarterback situation when it comes to the play calling is that Jared Garantano is very good at being able to find his receivers in a 10-yard outage.
Right.
But my problem is he has a hard time reading defenses in the blitz packages that are coming at him. And that's something he's got to continue to work on. And you can't put that on Tyson Helton,
right.
but you can put on the I would call it the slow offense from the first 6-7 games of the year.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I know personnel change is huge, especially on the line. But what would you say the biggest story of the Vols football season is thus far?
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, I would say the defensive line getting better. Probably the defense as a whole. Biggest takeaway right now is the secondary. I think when you have the secondary the way they're playing with Bailey Buchanan, you see Micah Abernathy playing well. Tennessee gets back Trayvon Flowers this week coming off a broken collarbone. But throw in these guys, Bryce Thompson, Alontae Taylor, Nigel. Tennessee secondary has really surprised me this year by how quick these freshmen have picked up the system. And you look at the defensive line, you're starting to see a defensive line that the Tennessee Volunteers should have week in and week out. And that's good to see. And I think it's all because the guys on that side of the ball have bought in to what Pruitt is trying to do, but also they picked up his defense. It takes a while to pick up this type of defense. And, it wasn't going to happen in the first 5 to 6 weeks, but now as time has gone on, you can tell how much that they are succeeding, especially when they're trying to call in the defenses from the sideline. Guys are picking it up a lot quicker. And it's actually really fun to watch them learn every week and get better.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, and Trey, to roll off that, man, seeing these freshmen improve and getting what is, I know it's still Kentucky kind of for us, playing that big brother role again, but they still have that number 11 beside them this week. What do you think that does for recruiting, to also roll off your point from seeing the freshmen improve like they have?
I see the biggest thing to me is, and look, we live in the Southeast, so we look at Tennessee and Kentucky as a matchup. Tennessee had a 30-some-odd winning streak years ago before the Dooley meltdown happened. Kentucky hasn't beaten Tennessee since 1984 in Knoxville. So as in the Southeast, folks look at that matchup as, okay, it's just Tennessee versus Kentucky.
Right.
But outside of the Southeast is that's where the big stories come. Because now it looks, okay, Tennessee upset number 21 Auburn. They've upset number 11 Kentucky now. Maybe this team is actually for real. And that's what's best about the outside perspective outside of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because folks look at it and see that number 11 by Kentucky. And they're not in here every week like we are, and you guys are, of being able to understand exactly what the Wildcats bring to the table. So I think it's very big for recruiting. I expect Tennessee to come on strong here at the end. There's possibly going to be some 3 or 4 5-stars that you could see Tennessee sign. But the biggest thing is Jeremy Pruitt get his guys on defense, and Tennessee needs to really focus on this offensive line because they have the fingers. Now it's all about getting the guys that fit into the system.
Yeah, and Trey, we've got I'm going to kind of throw you a curveball here. I know with Jarrett Garantano, obviously being a younger guy, from the beginning of the season and through the offseason with the coaching search, I was surprised to see him stick around after Butch and the whole debacle and the whole thing went down. But for a guy, correct me if I'm wrong, being a sophomore guy going into his junior year, what do you think he can really be for the remaining time at Tennessee since he's kind of made a big step this year in Tyson Helton's offense?
Here's where I get a little trouble when it comes to the Tennessee quarterback position. I think what you're seeing now with Jarrett Garantano is probably what you're going to see for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to be a guy that can hit the 10 to 15 yarder. And I'm happy for him. But if you go back and look at some of these deep balls that he throws, most of the time they're underthrown.
Yeah.
And the receivers are having to go make plays. So long answer short, I think Tennessee knows exactly what they're doing when it comes to quarterback recruiting. When you have J.T. Shrout on the sideline already, that's already been bumped up third string, you've got Brian Bauer, who's going to enroll in the early signing period area, and then they're still going after Talua Tagovailoa down at Alabama. I think you see the writing on the wall that, okay, Tennessee's comfortable right now with the quarterback position that they're in with Garantano.
Yeah.
But for the future, I said this just today on my show. Can Tennessee go into another offseason with that question mark still at quarterback? And I think that's the biggest thing. Honestly, I'm sure Tennessee fans are just tired of having to figure out who the quarterback's going to be year in and year out.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah. That does give you something to talk about during the off season, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it gives us something to talk about now. I mean, I agree completely, but, you see how this Tyson Helton offense is going to look like. What you saw Saturday, what you saw against Auburn, even South Carolina, you saw what it's going to look like and what he wants for the future. I just look at, and look, I've seen J.T. Shrout in high school, and I've seen Brian Maurer in high school, but we haven't seen him in college. But I will say that their games fit a lot more to what Tyson Helton is trying to do than what Garantano has right now at Tennessee. No knock on the kid. I hope he does well. I hope he finishes well. And then we'll see what happens in this offseason because Keller Christ is gone. McBride's going to be gone. He'll probably go back to Texas and be a starter somewhere in Conference USA or Sun Belt or something along those lines. So that's when Tennessee's quarterback position gets a little thin so they can get another guy in. So I don't know. I'm interested to hear your thoughts as well. Do you think Garantano is the guy for the next 2 years? If not, they got to make a real good decision come winter and springtime which direction they want to go.
Yeah, and for me, I know when the signing for J.T. Shrout happened and seeing some of his footage from college, and like you said, seeing a guy's high school tape compared to being at Neyland with 100 and some thousand fans playing in the SEC, it's a big jump, obviously. But for the guy, for him to have the arm and the power that he does, it's an intriguing get. For me, in my opinion, as far as the whole recruiting, I know sometimes guys get misrepresented by the stars next to their name. But like you said, I think they know what they're doing going after a guy like that, and then even this year in 2019, kind of looking for another role or whatnot. But I was curious to see. I didn't know if Garantano, in your opinion, would get the go simply because he's stuck around through some hard times and kind of be that guy, or if it'll be over sooner than later kind of a thing.
Here's the thing about Jeremy Pruitt, and I think you guys have seen it. I've definitely seen is that. It matters what you do in practice. It matters what you do in workouts. And here's the thing. I don't see Jeremy Pruitt going into the off season or coming out and winning workouts or maybe holding a press conference, maybe on signing day or something along those lines and saying, okay, Jarrett Garantano is our starting quarterback next season. Right. Like, I just don't see Jeremy Pruitt doing that because now it puts you on the block.
Right.
So now you have to stick with him.
Right.
And it's kind of the same situation where they've had to stick with him this year. Now, I'm not saying that Keller Christ was any better, but there were certain times in the last 10 weeks where you could have said, all right, let's see what Christ has.
Right.
Let's just check it out. And that's the thing that stands out to me. Garantano has been very good at practice. He's earned the respect of his teammates. But there has been times, and I know for a fact that the coaches at times have thought about using Keller. It's just come to certain circumstances in games where that didn't quite work out. And look, I think Garantano is a great kid with a great arm, but he's I personally think he has a hard time when he gets to the line of scrimmage, understanding or figuring out what blitz packages are coming at him. And that's why he's taken so many. It's not like the offensive line has been literally the worst at Tennessee. I think sometimes as well, he's not checking into the right protection packages.
Right.
And I think that's shown a little bit because if you look at this offensive line, I mean, they've been pretty gritty for the last couple of weeks now.
Right.
Like they've kind of stepped up. I throw the Charlotte game out. Nobody was motivated to play Charlotte, and I understand it and I get it. Marcus Callaway talked about it, but if you look at this offensive line, they've actually really stepped up in the last couple of weeks and given Jared Garantano some pocket protection, and that's why he's been able to be able to pass the ball around the field.
Yeah, it's nice to have as they say, a high floor as far as quarterback play. I think if Garantano is what we have, we could still go out and win next year. So
For sure.
Right.
And we were talking about
I think you go win 8 games.
Yeah.
Next year. See, we were talking prior to the show about this upcoming year is one of the easier schedules we've had. And it's just something I know we opened with Georgia State, BYU, we're playing Chattanooga, and then go into Florida. So we have plenty of time, obviously, to continue it out, work it out. And they're all at home, so that kind of helps as well. So we'll see what we can do.
Well, I think the biggest thing, too, guys, and y'all were talking about schedule for next year. I'm not trying to look past Missouri and Vanderbilt, but I do. It gives them that opportunity, okay, let's go 3-0, and then let's get ready for Florida.
Right.
The problem this year, and really cut off Tennessee's momentum, was they go down to Auburn, and they played fantastic, and then you have to turn around and the whipping's coming from Alabama, and then you have to get right back up for South Carolina after getting 50-some-odd points put on you.
Right.
If Tennessee would have played South Carolina right after Auburn, I think you'd have chalked that up as a win as well.
For sure.
And Tennessee would have probably won 3 out of the last 4. But it's just the way that the schedule hit.
Yeah.
It was kind of demoralizing for the Vols. And then they went to South Carolina, and it kind of is what it is. So, schedule-wise, Tennessee's still got a good chance this year to grab their 7 wins and go play in a bowl game down in Florida if they could beat Missouri on Saturday.
Speaking of, Trey, do you want to hit him with the last one?
Yeah, and I know you're on a schedule here, so I wanted to make sure we got a little time in.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
But our last question, like we were saying, we've seen the improvements for the offensive line playing gritty and other areas as well, the young secondary. But, we've seen the improvements. But in your opinion, what's the next step that the Vols can take to win against Missouri and Vanderbilt this coming weekend, or the next 2 weeks, excuse me?
Yeah, no, I look at this. Next weekend, very thankful if you're a Tennessee fan that Trayvon Flowers is coming back because it adds depth to that secondary.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me is we've seen Drew Lock play against really good teams, and we've seen him play against these bad teams where he's performed even better. Missouri is a team that if they don't get I don't want to call it screwed out of the Kentucky game, but if a couple calls go their way this season, you're looking at a team that would probably have 2 losses right now and not be sitting with 4.
Yep.
Right.
I look at this Tennessee team and say, okay, Missouri's defense is not really that great. If Tennessee can get to the outside like they did against Kentucky and be able to run the football, you're going to have that. Jennings, I think, will be even healthier this week than he was last week. Gives him somebody else to go to on 3rd down and for blocking, which, by the way, he's been fantastic at this year. But you look at this game Saturday, if Tennessee shuts down the passing game of Drew Lock and can get some pressure on him and make him uncomfortable, then Tennessee can win this ballgame. Now, Missouri could come in and score 24, 27 points, and Tennessee reverts back to the old. But I think with the momentum that the Volunteers have right now, Tennessee can win that game Saturday, and then they can go to Nashville, and they can beat a Vanderbilt squad who's just, unfortunate for them, just kind of been demoralized. And I think they have a coach right now who I don't think is going to be back next year. And that would leave Tennessee sitting at 7-5 on the year. And after speaking with some folks down in Jacksonville, that makes them very intriguing to go down to Florida and play New Year's Day for a bowl game. And who in the world would have thought that 6-7 weeks ago?
Right.
Look, if Tennessee can finish 7-5, and even if they can finish 6-6, guys, let's say they drop a close game this weekend, finish 6-6, go play in either Nashville, Memphis, Birmingham, something along those lines. Get yourself to 7-6. I think that's going to help with recruiting even more, and I think that's a positive on the year. And Tennessee fans wanted this team to make a bowl game, and I think the goal will be had. But I think if no injuries come up during the week, if Bryce Thompson's going to be in concussion protocol, we'll see if he plays this weekend. But this is a game that hopefully Tennessee fans enjoy, and I hope they show up for the. There's not a lot of seniors on this squad, but I hope they show up for the ones that'll be there. And one last little nugget. Yeah. You're probably going to see Juwan Jennings play the last home game he does for the University of Tennessee on Saturday, and I think that's something that Tennessee fans should try to soak up and enjoy as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Trey, man, we really appreciate your time, and for everyone watching right now, like I was saying, go follow Trey on Twitter. He's also on Facebook and Instagram as well, and then check out his radio show every day from 1 to 3, Fox Sports Knoxville. Trey, again, man, I feel like we could sit here for an hour and a half and make it the whole show with you, but yeah, it's been fantastic. Thanks very much. Hope you have a great rest of your week, brother.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Guys, I appreciate you guys having me on. I hope y'all are well down in Chattanooga. We appreciate everybody listening. You guys do a fantastic job with your show, and I appreciate you guys having me on. You guys be blessed.
You too, sir. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Well, yeah, I thought we could just bunny trail and go 10
We do an all Tennessee show?
Yeah. Wow. Now, for everyone watching, Trey does his own live periscopes post-game, during the game, through the week as well. He's very, very active on Twitter. Great follow. I mean, he's at every single press conference with Jeremy Pruitt, and as well as college basketball, which we're going to start picking up some here in a little bit.
Show.
And we actually have something in the works as well as a potential drawing giveaway. We'll see what happens there, but yeah, let's jump right in here. We're going to do our reactions, and for everybody watching, thanks so much for jumping in. Got some viewers here. Do us a favor and share the show just on Facebook. That's got the share button there. If you have your friends who are Vols fans, we're talking Vols right now, and then we'll jump into the reaction with Titans, because believe it or not, we have a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and squeeze that in here in the next half hour, but we talked about Pruitt being, this is first year, and Tyson Helton and the adjustments. I wanted to hit Paul Watkins on Facebook, ask the question. Everyone says it's Pruitt's first year as head coach. Give him some time. It's also Mike Vrabel's first year as head coach for the Titans, and he's doing great. Pruitt has had 10 years as an assistant coach. Vrabel only had 4. Why can Pruitt not get his players to play consistently? We just shotgun blast that to everyone watching, but for you guys as well. Give me your opinions on that.
I think it's a culture thing. When you come in as a new coach, especially in college, where you have young men, fragile mentally maybe is the right word, or the right kind of way to look at it. If you didn't pick those young men by their mental toughness as well as their film, it's going to be tough. I mean, they've got to buy in to what Pruitt's saying and to what the coaches have told them to do each week. And those guys weren't recruited by Pruitt.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I mean, if I'm a 4 or 5 star that's maybe not getting as much playing time as I wanted and my coach is left, it's going to be kind of tough to get them to buy in. And I think that's kind of what he's run into.
Sure.
He doesn't have the professional players, if you will, I mean, that are coming to earn money every week, They want to put their name out there and make sure that even if they do go somewhere else, they're still going to be compensated, and they do have a job at the end of the day.
For sure. What do you think, Chase?
And that's the thing is, like you're talking about, also coming from Butch Jones to Jeremy Pruitt, literally 2 opposite people.
Oh, yeah.
Literally the exact opposite.
Champions, 5-star Hearts going to, Pruitt was chewing out Tyson Helton in a huge upset win, which is definitely Sabanism. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And that's the thing is also Vrabel walked into a playoff team. Also, it's not like you're getting
not an 0-8 team.
Yeah, you're not getting 4-8.
Sure.
Worst season ever. You're walking into a 9-7, right?
Yeah.
10 win. With 10 win.
Malarkey's co, but
So
Yeah, Evan made your point as well, saying the talent gap between what Vrabel has inherited and what Pruitt was left behind basically is pretty considerable. I think, both of the combinations of what you said, just to reiterate that, it's something that there's the debacle of the coaching search and that, and then Vrabel's, John Robinson at the helm versus John Curry.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard comparison, but Paul, appreciate the question there very much. But we're going to jump into the Kentucky game. Obviously, Vols beat Kentucky 24-10 at Neyland. Some considerable numbers as far as offense, 215 rushing yards against the Wildcats, which previously everyone saw them as a pretty stout defense.
Yeah.
Garantano throws for 2 picks. Let's see here. Ty Chandler with 16 carries and Tim Jordan, which kind of surprised me a bit as far as them kind of going together. But overall, for everyone watching, what were some of your favorite things that you saw, and then maybe some concerns that you had after the Tennessee game this weekend?
Me?
Curtis.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
40 rushing attempts. And I understand.
That's a positive, you're saying.
Yeah.
Huge positive. And
absolutely.
I understand that the lead going into the half and us kind of milking that played into that. But at the same time, what did you say? How many yards?
215.
15.
Yeah.
That's what Jared Garantano needs to succeed. I don't
Yeah.
think it's necessarily as much about X's and O's as about making them respect the run game. And that's just as much on the line, I think, and kind of the shuffle that Trey alluded to that's happened all year. But that was looking at the stat line after the game. That I was like 40.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing because they spread it out like we were saying. 16 from Chandler, 15 for Jordan. But of course, Garantano's in there. You've also got Mondre London, and then Carlin Phil's Amy. Is it Amy?
Amy,
Yeah. Had to get a little French there, but it's just amazing. Like we talked about with Trey. Tyson Helton is a guy that I've basically scrutinized from day one. His offense looked very ancient, and then also to consider what he is working with, it's not always going to be Lego blocks just clicking together.
For
So,
sure.
what stuck out for you, Chase?
For me, also, like we were talking about, this is exactly the offense that JG needs.
Yep.
12 for 20, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Also,
20 attempts.
Also JG broke Mr. Casey Clausen's record for 144 passes thrown without a pick.
That's awesome.
That's impressive. Ball record.
Protect the
Good for
ball.
that
It may not be pretty ball, but it's exactly what we needed out of him.
Yeah.
I think we also talked about Dominic Wood-Anderson not necessarily having yards, but he did have 4 catches this week.
Yeah.
And I
Just
think,
productivity.
Yeah.
as we've said, we have the threats on the outside. If we don't make them respect the middle and respect our tight ends, then they're able to key in on those
For sure.
stud receivers. So
And I'm of the belief, and this has happened in weeks past, I remember saying something on Twitter about how Helton needs to kind of look at LaFleur and what he's doing with, this was Jags week and Texans week where they're running the Wildcat, and then, we were seeing reverses in the Wildcat a little
Get
bit.
creative,
Yeah, as deep as one place that we have the depth with our running backs is like, why not run something like a 3-eye and run a Wildcat, or just be creative with what you're working with.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of fans are thinking, let's go. We're winning. We're doing well in certain situations, but then why are we not winning all these games? It's like, well, let's take a step back. Our offensive line is basically a thrift store of put together offensive line players, and it's something I'm impressed with what they've been able to do, and that's why going forward, looking at the last 2 games, it's like if we could go. If you told me we had the potential of going 7-5 during the summer, or even week 1 or 2, I would have fallen over. Yeah, just unreal.
I think that's a testament to as much crap as we give Helton to the success that he's done with that line. I mean, and the coaching week by week that they're getting to make them competitive, even with a different look nearly every week. So.
Yeah, and Gavin Jones comes in and says, does Garantano have to get rid of the ball faster, or does the offensive line need to give him more time? I think that this last week you saw him get more time.
Yeah.
Like Trey was saying on our call, when he has the time, he has the ability to heave it up to some of his tall receivers and get more effective downfield. But here's the thing. Here we are, 2 games left, and we have the potential of going bowling. It is awesome. And plus, against Kentucky, and we'll talk about this at the very end of the show too, but I know there's a lot of celebrations, and people were talking about, do we rush the field and do we dump Gatorade on Pruitt? It's like, guys, let's get this back to level, and this is Kentucky.
Act like you've been there before, even if you haven't.
Exactly. A couple other things here. I know a couple question marks for me, and J.J. Peterson was returning kicks. I'm not I'm not sure as far as a linebacker doing it. Obviously, never heard of that, but if he has the
He's got good
athleticism,
hands.
yeah, just secure the ball.
Yeah,
go out there and get it. But that's something that, in talking to Trey, I want to see them continue as far as what steps they can take going forward. I want to see them continue to work the ball in the inside of the offensive line. That somehow it's doable right now, because at the beginning of the year we couldn't run within the center and two guards. So I'm open for more of that.
You talked about Sabanism, how he's kind of laying in to the coaches even though they're up. Also putting your best players on the field for special teams is something that I think he picked up from Saban, and the fact, he's a linebacker returning kicks, but I mean, if he's the best one,
if it works, it works.
It works.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
sure.
And that's another thing is we were talking about the little Sabanisms you see is the way Pruitt talks after games. It's always the equalizer. We may beat Kentucky, we beat a number 11 team. It's like, well, we still did this and this wrong.
Yeah.
Laying into Helton about a call or things like that. So, man, you just love that even kill.
always forward.
Yeah. If we do bad, he's like, well, we did some good things.
For sure. And I'm going to go ahead and make a confession. Last week, I had
Here
a
he
little
goes.
bit of an overly emotional reaction, which, by the way, quick segment here. Check out chat10sports.com. Every single week, we're making contributions to our website for blog posts, articles, and, of course, today, the usual, author actually stepped out. He had a CrossFit event this weekend that he was getting his butt whooped. Or
Fourth place.
Or whipping some butt.
Fourth place.
Fourth place out of 11. I'm always like, fourth place out of 4? But had a guest. Tell us a little bit about your guest writer.
So my boy JJ Hill, roommate, he grinded through the tough years of Ray County high school basketball with me. Thank goodness he had me to be the losingest captain of all time, or otherwise he might have been. So thank goodness I stepped in for him. So he stepped in and relief pitched for me this week, and he did a great job. Throw out some stats, like you said in the beginning of the article. Gas was $1.20 a gallon the last time Kentucky beat us at home.
Absolutely. But yeah, keep that in mind. Every single week, we're all making contributions. Chat10sports.com. Share it with your friends. Tell your mom and dad about it, because they'll go on the interweb for us. But it's something I want to confess. Last week, I had my own overly emotional initial reaction to the weak, ugly win against Charlotte, thinking we would not have a chance at winning out or having 2 out of 3 games. My question here and now, and I've asked for forgiveness, and I hope you guys will extend it my way, but we got, looking forward for the Vols, we've got 2 games, Missouri, Vanderbilt. Both teams have been very much inconsistent. There's weeks that, Vandy almost, I think, lost to Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah.
And then Missouri, of course, that Kentucky game was hideous that they lost it in the last drive. But the big question, and fans, if you're viewers, if you're watching, other Vols fans, the big question now is, how confident are you, let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, that the Vols will be in a bowl this winter? Fellas?
I'm at an 8 right now.
That's pretty good.
Because there is that 2 is the ballism.
That's
The realism.
Like the realism, the realist of all.
How very Vol of us would it be to beat the 11th ranked team and then stumble against 2 people which I don't know if we should beat, would maybe a strong word, but definitely more beatable than Kentucky or Auburn.
Yeah. And your thoughts?
I think we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I think we ride this wave, as Trey says on our call. That Trey says,
TRUY.
we ride that emotion. Huge win against a great defense. We proved our offense to be capable.
Yeah.
I never had questions about our defense. I mean, even though it's been a kind of revolving door, and like as he said, in a young secondary, defensive line's been great this year. Linebacker play's been solid enough to get us through.
Yeah.
And just more so, there's a physicality that's been there that I've really appreciated this year that, among other things, was lacking last year. So.
For sure. I know some responses are rolling here. Got 2 Matthews coming in hot. Matthew, my brother, Wynn is 6 out of 10 as far as his confidence. Blaze Keelan, if I'm saying that right. If not,
Blazy.
Cool. He's got an 8.2 confidence measurement, which I respect. For me, I know I'm kind of the swinging pendulum from one week to the next with the Vols, but it's something for me. Seeing how inconsistent, I mean, all 3 teams, Vols, Missouri, and Vandy have been.
Yeah.
I think we're taking the right step. I think Pruitt's finally getting at least the stability that he wants from players. And like we said, and Matt comes in as well. It's tough to say 6, maybe 7, but it's something for me. Tennessee, can play weeks with a hangover. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard to, and this is for Titans and for Vols, to have a huge game that you're supposed to win, and then you play lesser teams and you play to that level. Yeah. So I'm confident. I'd probably give us 5 or 5.5.
Yeah, if I had to pick a number, probably around 7 as well. But like, how frustrating, and I've talked to y'all about this multiple times now, how frustrating is it to see that team on the field after last week?
Yeah.
It would almost be less painful for us to just flat out lay down like last year, but it's not. Please don't. Yeah, I would never want that ever again.
I know what you're saying, though.
But it's just frustrating to see us play like that, and we got to take care of business. I think that this is the. I think we were talking beginning of the season. We were joking with one of our coworkers that if we get 7 wins, I was going to tattoo her face on my rear end. So I'm glad I reneged on that before the season started, for the record. But like, erect a Jeremy Pruitt statue right now if they get 7 wins and a decent bowl this year, because huge turnaround. I mean, just unreal.
Yeah,
for sure. And for me, I know it's something. We're going to wrap up our Vol segment here. We're probably a little bit behind the clock, so hang with us here. But we'll see what happens. We've got 2 weeks. And make sure every single week for new viewers, if you're just finding us, obviously we've had a couple great guys. A couple weeks ago we had Teron Davenport with ESPN, who covers the Titans. This week we had Trey Wallace, who covers out of Knoxville, the Tennessee Volunteers. So we're doing our best to give the best content every single week. So as the Vols season wraps up, and then the Titans, we're coming down to the nitty-gritty. Stay with us, and we'll be back to recap everything each week. But here we are.
Where are we?
We are actually at a new, beautiful place. Not new, it's probably been here for a little while, but we're here live. As you can see, the vineyard pictures behind us. We're at Wine Down in Ottawa, Tennessee, right here in Cambridge Square. Fantastic place, and it's funny. You might be thinking, sports and a wine bar. Let me tap a nerve here, guys, because
go for it.
Fellas, we all know that you're here to get a lady, right? And this is the kind of place that you want to bring somebody to be honest. We're in a private room right now they've actually set up for us, which we're super thankful for. But right out there has an awesome atmosphere, has some nice dim light, delicious drinks. We're talking about, high gravity beers, high end spirits, and of course, like Monday nights, half off bottle wine night. So come on down. Throughout the week, they have great happy hour specials. Sunday morning, they have great brunch as well. So find them at winedownbar.com. Find them on Facebook. Give them a like. Marcus and Georgia Garner, fantastic people who own this and operate it themselves. So I want to make sure and give them a shout out as well. Guys, as far as food, I'm not starving right now, but one thing I know, and we actually previewed this on our Instagram account prior to the show, come here and get the truffle fries. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. But that's something, check out Wine Down Bar here in Ottawa in Cambridge Square. So moving on, we're going to go to the old two-tone blue. And luckily this week, we're not going from a win team to a loss team. We're going to 2 straight wins for these teams. Two wins. We actually did it, and it was actually.
But I thought we were underdogs in both.
That's what they say.
Both those games.
Patriots, we can't beat the Patriots.
We can't. Well, I'm going to be honest here, and I put this up here. Of course, obviously the Titans beat the Patriots 34-10 on Sunday at home. Fantastic win, and apparently Patriots fans are just a bunch of tools, like going downtown Broadway and being jerks. But I want to be honest. Moment of honesty for everyone watching and in this room. Who in their right mind actually predicted the Titans would beat the Patriots?
Nah. I think in my article last week I even said we might win out with the exception of the Patriots was the exact words I used. I think they ran into a buzzsaw of a great team right now, a really hot team, a really confident team. The announcers nationally would have called it a trap game for the Patriots, especially a Gronkless Patriots.
Right.
Yeah.
But we outplayed them. I don't care what anyone says. In between those whistles, in between first to fourth quarter, we beat that team. And even if they had an off game, we just beat them.
Yeah.
Matt Blaze coming in here. I thought my TV was broke. And Matt come in, but he says, nope, but what a win. And for me, it's hard to be a Vols fan and a Titans fan, but it's one of those things. The big, I don't want to say C word, but the big word that everyone's been throwing out the last 2 weeks is consistency. Have they been able to do what they did against the Cowboys, against going forward? But it's something as far as the offensive production, it was there.
Yeah.
The defensive production, and of course the special teams. Darius Jennings opens up the whole game, and I was thinking, like, all right, God, please,
Yes.
let this continue. But had a huge, great field position return for the Titans. But for me, if I'm betting, there's no chance I'm putting my money on the Titans, and let alone a 34-10 win.
Yep.
And in convincing fashion.
Speaking of DJ, I think Vrabel, I think we've all been on board with that this year.
Yeah.
And I saw a little video from the post-game conference where he was giving DJ props. He's like, how many catches did you have?
Right.
He said 1, but it was a big catch. And I think that's key to the Titans moving forward is if you have that one play, make that one play.
Right.
And you may not be getting balls as much as Corey Davis and some of the other guys, but take advantage of it, man. Players make plays.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
And to me, that's a championship mentality. It's not always about one guy. It's not always about Marcus. It's not always about Kevin Byard and these Pro Bowl guys, Lawan. It's about the guys doing the little things right. And I know, listening to the pressers, listening to the pregame, everything, before and after the game, Vrabel hounded. He actually showed footage of last year's divisional round loss to the Patriots and saying, look, the Patriots beat you in the little things. The devil's in the details. So if you do the little things right, we're minimizing the opportunities to have opportunities against us. But
sure.
Matt Wynn come in saying it was awesome to see the Titans defend. The defense totally rattled Tom Brady.
Yep.
To me, it was something that in New York Giants Super Bowl they played, their defensive pass rush was huge.
Yep.
But something about Brady just didn't look right to me. I know a lot of people were talking about that. Some of his into the first half, throwing balls at people's feet, at their feet. But it was something that just didn't seem 100% right. He could have been rattled. So
yeah, and come off that, we talked about how our lack of confidence coming into this game. How many times do you see, like, pre-week, I think you even posted, like, the offensive, defensive stats coming in, like how top dog we were and how top dog they were offensively. Right. And you see that, and you're like, well, the Patriots will prove you wrong next week. That's one of those, you always have that feeling. It's like, oh, we got good numbers now until they roll into town.
For sure.
It's awesome to see us step up and play like we are.
Absolutely. Yeah, next topic here that we're going to discuss, it's, we talked about stats, talked about production, but what impressed you the most about the Titans' dominant win over the Vols? The Patriots, excuse me. I'm still on Tennessee Vols.
I voted on your poll that you posted. Corey Davis. I'm sorry, man, but that's what we need every week from him.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a play calling thing. Maybe it just took them this long to get on the same page, Mariota and Davis, but like, that's what we need. That many catches, that many yards, that kind of a performance is exactly what that offense needs. You saw the run game also come along pretty well.
Yeah.
Deion Lewis.
Deion Lewis is great. I don't think we had questions about Deion Lewis, but to see Derrick Henry come in and
finish him up,
lead in yards, get 2 touchdowns, because he's what we need. He is Lindell White, the smash and dash.
Yep.
We need that in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Mariota could probably roll out on a pass and tuck it and run and get drilled.
Yeah.
But why would we do that when we have a 6'3", 240-pound hoss and Derrick Henry, Heisman Trophy winning Derrick Henry, sitting on the sidelines?
Exactly.
And it's funny because I know David Fluellen came in at one point and then ended up kind of taking a knee, and I think he injured his left knee. And Vrabel, of course, in Vrabel fashion, didn't give any detail to it today. Should know something in the coming days. I know Paul Kuharsky was kind of trying to push the narrative that is that a sign that Henry's time is dwindling and it's the doors closing for him. I don't think so. I know. And again, other people have talked about this as well, but it's something I think they're using Deion for the first half, and they're using the big bruising back in the second half to really kind of pound him into submission. And something too, my most impressive stat, I actually found this today, did a little research myself, but when the Titans have more than 30 minutes of possession in a game, they're 5-1, which is something in this game and last week. It was almost like I'm watching the game, and it's like, the offense has been driving for in course of watching in game time. It feels like 20 minutes, but a good 5 or 10 minute or 5 to 8 minute drive. It's something that you can see. Hey, these guys are this defense is still on the field. Our opposing defense, and Sunday, I mean, you keep Brady off the field, you have a better chance of winning that game.
So I know it's against his former team, and I heard some kind of slight-handed comments afterwards. What about Malcolm Butler? You wrote.
I didn't hear much about him at all on
You
Sunday.
didn't hear about it. You didn't hear about it. That's what you want.
Oh, yeah. And I think, because we had a stat as well, that he was targeted, I think, 2 times. Let me see if I can find this here. Yeah, according to Pro Football Focus, he was targeted twice for 11 yards. Adoree Jackson was targeted 11 times, allowing 4 catches for 48 yards.
Three pass
which
deflections.
he got a shout-out from Vrabel today in his presser as the player of the game, which I wasn't watching Adoree particularly. I was more fascinated by Mariota and his ability to continue his progression.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, the secondary, I've been critical of the my man catch no ball, kind of movement in Nashville, but it's one of those things. If they want to play like that every single week,
heck yeah,
you guys can wear your cleats and your shoes and do everything that you want.
I think I was really critical of Adoree Jackson. I think because of where we drafted him, and he wasn't so good on the return game as a rookie, and he seemed kind of shaky as a corner.
Yeah.
He didn't get as much playing time. I think the maturity that we've seen from him this year on defense has been huge. And Vaccaro being back was huge.
Oh, yeah.
It's that physicality that we needed in the secondary and the run game.
Listen to Mike Keith this weekend. It's like, talk about somebody that's just changed this defense. Having him and Woodyard back healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Game changers.
For sure.
Absolute game changers.
And I know I had something else we were talking about a second ago stuck out. But, okay. Yeah, so we're going to call this a flashback fact. But this summer, with the new hire of Vrabel and as the coaching staff came together, Dan Orlovsky, once Matt LaFleur was hired, Dan Orlovsky was on record saying about Mariota and the new offense, he says, quote, "Every quarterback when starting in this new system struggles." He said, "Everyone from Matt Schaub to Kirk Cousins to Matt Ryan. It just breaks you down and asks you to do the things that most often you've never thought about mechanically, and it demands structure, which is hard to grasp, but Mariota will come along." My question is, and for everyone watching as well, please give us your responses to this. Have we seen enough to say that Mariota has figured out Matt LaFleur's offense?
It's coming along. I think we've made adjustments. And also, when this right thumb has become healthy, look what he's done the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's fully healthy, and I think that's been the biggest difference. I mean, how much of it was just mechanics throwing it and kind of hoping it's going the right place for him the first 6-7 weeks,
What do you think, Kibby?
It's tough, man. But I'm sorry, if Matt Schwab looks good in that offense, Marcus Mariota will look good in that offense.
Yeah.
And it just, we've talked about it all year, whether it be the run scheme, how our line struggled with that, or just Marcus struggling in general with the offense early on. It seems like the light has come on. I hope it has. I hope it stays on.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope we ride this bad boy all the way to the playoffs.
Keep this train going, man.
We've got a ways to go, but I think our schedule is soft enough for us to just
Go through.
straight
Yeah.
2 years in a row playoffs.
For sure.
How huge would that be?
Well, it'd be a nice step to get in there and have some breathing room versus us having to go through wild card. But it's something, I know the question, have we seen enough to say he's figured it out? I'm convinced he has. I mean, the big question that everyone's talked about, we mentioned this a second ago, it's consistency.
Yeah.
I think, and my brother and they were talking as far as Delaney Walker and the potential of him coming back. I don't know if anything's actually official. I know Walker, a while ago, he was on 104.5 The Zone in Nashville, and he said, "Hey, feeling good, working out, rehabbing. We'll see what happens." But my thing is, if you make the playoffs, that increases the chances for Walker to come back.
Gosh.
But all that to say, for Mariota to know this offense, and they've talked about the timing of routes and when to throw it and how to throw it. I mean, from what Dan Orlovsky said, it's breaking down what you've done and asking you to go back to the mechanics and saying, here's where we have to start. I'm convinced that Mariota has done enough to do it. It's 2 straight weeks, and this is something my brother and I have always joked about. You can almost expect of years past a Mariota pick in every single game.
Yeah.
And we have 2 straight that he hasn't had an interception. Knock on wood. Let's hope for the best there. But it's something, if you're doing it against the world champion, not last year, AFC champ Patriots. You already beat the Super Bowl champs and the Eagles.
So this is the rest of the season, though. What do you? I think that the Texans, obviously, we got the win against them early in the year. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure.
Texans, yes.
We've already got one win on them, but they are still up a good bit on us in the division. So that's to me a must win. Even if we split with the Colts, which I think we have what it takes to beat them twice, they are looking a lot better as the season goes on, especially Andrew Luck. And it seems like Ebron has found his home. He kind of wasted away up there under a great quarterback in Detroit. Maybe it was a play calling thing that he just didn't get the balls that he needed. But I think we must beat the Texans. And I don't think the Jets, Jaguars, who else we got? I mean,
yeah, we've got.
I think both New York teams, if I'm not
Giants and Jets. Yeah.
I don't think either of those guys are better than us right now.
The only thing that could get us is some weird 14-degree or negative 14-degree New York game.
Right.
Yeah.
Something weird like that.
Yeah, to me, I mean, and this is something that Craig came in. The game against the Colts will really tell me what type of team the Titans have. Yeah. You just never know with Andrew Luck. Of course, the Titans have never beat Andrew Luck at home or even as a fact. They beat them last year with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk real quick, and we'll kind of go through this. Then we'll get to agree or disagree here. But what are your lingering concerns? Going in, we're on a high right now. But if anybody has any concerns as far as the remaining, I guess after the Cowboys and Patriots wins, what are any things stick out for you guys?
You're still going to have to worry about how good are our number 2 and 3 wide receivers. Tajay didn't catch one this week.
Had one, I think, target, but
one target. Corey got 10 looks. Had some receptions out of the backfield for for our running backs. We still need Tajay. We need these new guys to kind of come in and play their roles and do their thing.
Right.
So if defenses start honing in on just Corey double teams, how they've done with a Julio or a Odell. See how that goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Taywan Taylor, Darius Jennings, those guys have got to get the ball in space.
Cameron Batson had a good catch.
Yeah, that's another one.
Batson's been shown out. I mean, out of nowhere.
Maybe John Robinson knew these guys were reliable.
I don't know if you guys saw. We have this guy named Jonnu Smith.
Oh yeah. Oh, that guy.
Touchdown.
Delaney Walker Jr. No, he's had 2 straight weeks.
I must have 2 weeks in a row. Yeah.
So good for him. I know. Kind of moving Stalker to the blocking tight end and utilizing him more in the passing game. I think
that's what we've been calling for. We've been wanting more Jonnu.
Give me more Jonnu. One concern for me is Adoree Jackson on punt returns. It's an equation of Adoree plus punt returns is me a nervous wreck because Sunday he came and got knocked, fumbled the ball. Luckily recovered his own fumble, but it's something that we were just talking about J.J. Peterson taking punts for the Vols. Just put someone back there who can get the ball and not drop it. I don't need anything fancy.
I don't need the big play. I just need a solid. I need someone to catch the ball. I don't care if you fair catch every punt. Don't risk the football.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And he did it last year a lot more. This year he looks better.
Way better. Yeah.
But last year was just.
He wanted it
every time. And it's because he's that playmaker. He was that guy in college at USC. And if he does get the ball, I don't think he's going to fumble it after he catches it, but it seems to me that he's trying to catch the ball in some tight spaces, maybe with too much traffic around him when he should just fair catch it. Yeah. I know he is capable of making the big play. Mm-hmm. No one's questioning his athleticism, but you got to be smart too.
Sure.
Absolutely. That kind of wraps it up for the Titans here. Again, we are coming to you live from Wine Down in Ottawa, Tennessee. Fantastic drinks, high-gravity beers, high-end spirits, delicious food. Marcus Garner, he's actually behind this wall, probably cooking up a storm in there. Guys, seriously, from Sunday morning brunch, fantastic choice. They got some chicken and waffles. They have an AM burger that my wife and I actually came by yesterday just to kind of meet and greet and see everything here, but it's something. The food, I mean, it's a wine bar, but don't be mistaken that this is some of the best food that you're going to find in Ottawa, and I'll say in Chattanooga. There's some good places out there.
We got a good food city.
Absolutely, we sure do. But if you're in Knoxville, Nashville, Atlanta, if you're passing through, come by and find Wine Down. Find them at winedownbar.com. Find them at Facebook. You can find their hours of operation. Give them a call and make your plans to be here.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been looking forward to this Agree or Disagree.
Here we go. go.
We got some hot takes, and what we do right now, agree or disagree, is our signature closing segment. And what we do, we throw out for viewers, and we'll debate it. And please feel free to share your opinions as well. But we're going to throw a hot take out, and you simply tell us agree or disagree and why. We're doing straight up, and like we had this whole show, Vols and Titans. So we're going to start it off with a good one. I've got some arsenal packed up here to try and make my point here. This is my hot take.
Okay.
But agree or disagree. I'm going to copy and paste this here for my viewers. But agree or disagree, Wesley Woodyard is the best defensive player on the Titans roster.
This year, yes, to me, I agree. Comes in, makes 10 total tackles this week, and tackle for loss. He just shows out, and man, the defense has changed when he comes back.
Yeah, it's almost like it's more of a psyche thing to have him back there in the middle roaming around. It's almost like the rest of the team comes to play more.
Yeah.
I don't think he, on paper, is the best player. I think Jarrell Casey is that Pro Bowl nose tackle
Who? No, I'm just
that you want.
Thanks.
I won't say he's the best because, the words we use are so key.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the best player. But I do think, as we were talking about earlier, he is the rock, the foundation for which our defense builds itself upon.
The rock. My thing, I think, this is my hot take, and Craig's story comes in, says disagree, between Casey and Byard.
Byard
better,
is huge too.
But I may give you that he is the most important, for sure. I think this last week, they came, they being Woodyard and Vaccaro came back. You could definitely tell, especially with the scheme that Dean Pease put in this week for the rush, and especially the interior pass rush. You saw Jayon Brown, you saw Woodyard going in the middle, you saw Rashawn Evans as well, and there were some looks that they had 7 guys in the box all standing up, and you have no idea who's coming, which is awesome to see. I think he's not the best as far as, obviously Pro Bowls and all that stuff. But as far as the leader of the defense, there's no doubt in my mind as far as him being the best on the team as far as leadership. Wily veteran guy. He spent some time in Denver. Won a ring when Peyton was there, and then jumped over to us. But I think Wesley Woodyard right now, if he can keep playing, extend the man.
And I think it's huge in the sense of a player coach to have the young guys, the Jayon Brown, the Rashad Evans, be with him this season and next season, and maybe even moving forward in their maturity and their development. I think that itself is worth a couple mil.
Absolutely. Jumping over here to some Vols topics, we're actually looking, let's see here, got next year's schedule pulled up here. We talked a bit with Trey Wallace about it, but agree or disagree, the Tennessee Volunteers are going to win 9 games next year. And you can go high, you can go too low. You tell me what you're thinking, folks. It's something that, for me, I'm going to throw out here real quick. So we've got first week, Georgia State, BYU, Chattanooga, Florida at Florida. Got a bye week, Georgia, Mississippi State, Alabama. And I know you're not going to have all these. I was going to try and copy and paste it. But we have 3 opening games against Georgia State, BYU, Chattanooga. In my mind, you write those up as 3-0 right now.
You know you're in Chattanooga, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just double checking.
He's still not there.
Someone's going to throw a rock on that one. Nail me.
Mox or die!
Yeah, but they're all at home. So for me, 9 games, I'm thinking 9 games is closer to a minimum than a maximum, in my opinion.
Wow.
Hot take.
Hot
Don't
take.
touch it; it'll burn you.
I think nine is a great goal to me.
Yeah.
There's a couple trip-up games in there. I think
Let me pull back up.
if Florida is the same team that they were this year, we should beat them. But
at least we have some breathing room between Florida, bye week, Georgia, Mississippi State, Alabama, South Carolina. So it's not the gauntlet of this year.
but State's good though.
Yeah.
I mean,
we do have Georgia and State at home. It's nowhere near the. Yes, Mississippi State, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, but I just don't feel like it's nearly what it has been the last 2 years.
No.
That gauntlet, middle season gauntlet.
It's probably the easiest schedule in quite some time.
just even in its entirety, it's way easier than the past 3 years.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see here. So Gavin comes in, 7 wins. He says disagree, 7 wins at the most.
Oh, wow.
Now Matt Pelfrey disagree. I say we give them another year and then maybe. Steven Snyder, thanks for joining us. 8-4. That's
I think
fair.
8-4.
That's 8-4 is where I'm at. I disagree on the 9.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see 9, 10, dare I?
Hey, I'm with Pruitt. If we like we said, if you told me at the beginning of the year, week 1, that we would win 7 games, we'd all laugh at you.
Yeah.
Right now, if we're saying we could win 9 games, to see what he's been able to do this year, and now that he has a top 15 recruiting class and potentially more, since other recruits are trying to get some other guys to come, we'll see what happens. But it's something that time will tell. But moving on here. Next topic, agree or disagree, going back to the Titans here. Mike Vrabel will lead the Titans to a Super Bowl win during his stint as head coach.
I'm going to agree with it.
Ooh.
Just got that feeling, you know? We have, even though I gave a little question about the receiving core, we're still a young receiving core, plenty of drafts ahead. I think this Robinson-Vrabel connection is going to last a long time. Both guys relatively young for their positions. It's one of those things. I think we're on a beautiful track.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree.
Give me what you got.
We
Super
have
Bowl.
to sustain it, though. We have to build upon each year, build upon what we've already done. And I think we have to buy into Marcus. I mean, it's one of those things. I've been the biggest critic of Marcus.
No, you don't say.
because it seems like tell two cities with him and Jekyll and Hyde, if you will, because some weeks it looks like he's a deer in the headlights, and then this week he goes out and
2 weeks straight now.
just lays it to the Patriots.
Come on, give him some credit now. 2 straight weeks.
I think if LaFleur is the quarterback whisperer that we brought him in to be, we could win a Super Bowl.
We have a believer, folks.
I believe it. Skeptical still.
I definitely think Vrabel's going to be the guy to. I mean, I think, and I even thought about making this the hot take, that he'll go down as the most successful coach in Titans history. To eclipse the 7-9 Jeff
about
Fisher.
Wait, you know this Jeff Fisher? That guy?
Oh man, don't ever disrespect Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, please don't.
He is the hero of my childhood.
Seriously, I mean, as much flack as he gets for being middle of the road, he was a great coach.
I mean, some of those early Titans teams. I mean, 98, 99, or 99 through 2004 or 5.
Yeah.
I mean, those were some of the best teams in the NFL. Going 13-3, I know.
With Billy Volek.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Volek. God, I wonder what he's doing right now. But
Hope he's watching our show.
But yeah, and it's something too that I think Vrabel's the guy, and like we talked about, the team believes in his gospel that he's preaching. So we're going to cut a couple of these short here. Let me see here. Let me jump back into the Vols.
Wow.
I'm going here, and some of you might be afraid. Get your tomatoes out.
This is hot.
This is a very hot take. This is my hot take, and I want to entice everybody. But agree or disagree. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Jeremy Pruitt will go down as the most successful head coach in Vols history. Take it to the bank.
Yeah?
I think he. I mean, because here's my thing. Here's my reason.
Sorry, your brother's going back to the fact that we're missing all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete my brother out of here for a second. By the way, Predators are playing. They're 8-0 on the road, as I'm sure a lot of you have seen. We're doing a little Titans Vols since it's a huge week, and the Predators.
Give us our moment, Matt.
Give us
Please.
a second to enjoy the Titans Vols.
We
win.
know the Preds are good. They have been, though.
Seriously, go to Bridgestone once or twice in your life, and you'll never regret it.
Yeah.
But back to our topic here. Yeah, Craig comes in hot. Nealon exists, right? So no. Hey, I respect it, but here's my thing. Fulmer is the last, obviously, the last coach to win a national championship. This day and age, this sport, this game is a completely different bird. I think Pruitt has a taller mountain to climb up. I think he has the ability, the recruiting chops to get the best guys in the country in. Now, I won't say, here comes boys, throw it in an emoji tomato. Loving it, man. But yeah, it's a hot take. We want your interaction, so if you hate it, let us know. I think I'm a believer in Pruitt. I think for what he brings for the school, I think for the Southeastern Conference, just for Tennessee to be back on the map in the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, the sky's the limit for him, obviously, with Fulmer as the AD. I mean, he's the reason why I decided to hang up my Alabama fandom and commit to the Tennessee Vols versus having a foot in each camp. I think with him at the helm, he's the guy to right the ship. Obviously, Pruitt's the guy to keep it going straight.
He's got to stay, though. I mean, if he does hit some early success, I'm not saying that Vols is not a big program. Obviously, we know traditionally it's a powerhouse name, but, like, what's not to lure him?
What if Saban leaves?
Well,
then Dabo goes.
Dabo, and you've got, the guy at Georgia, for blanking on his name, Kirby Smart, that guy.
I'm poking the bear over here. Strongly disagree. How could you even compare Pruitt to Fulmer?
I agree with Gavin, by the way. I think
But why? I mean, tell me. Like, it's
Phil created a thing, I think, there with the offensive line, defensive line. He just went out and got big bodies. It was a different time back then. We were bigger. We were stronger. We were better than everyone around us. I think the level is so much higher. We spoke about the parity in the SEC East this year. But what's to prevent that down the road? What's to say what is going to give us a leg up? I think that Fulmer lived in a different time where we were just better than everyone around us.
I'm thinking though, as far as it being a different time. I mean, Fulmer never had to play against a powerhouse Alabama. Never had to play against Georgia. So if with Pruitt, and this is why I'm thinking this, and Matt Pelfrey gives a fantastic point. He could be, but I can't say agree or disagree after half of a season.
Yep.
Totes my goats right there, brother. But it's something for me, if Pruitt has success and he can get those recruits from Bama and Georgia, the sky's the limit kind of a thing. I'm pretty sure you don't even want to say one way or the other. You can punch me right in the face if you want to.
Listen, this guy named General Nealon.
Ever heard of him?
Ever heard of him? He was a general.
For one.
He was a general. He was basically Captain America. He took down the great Alabama back then. It's one of those things that he's a legend, and that's going to be so hard to top. But, like you said, it's a whole different era.
Yep.
If there's ever a time, I don't know if you're ever going to beat the guy that has the stadium. I don't know if you'll ever beat that name.
That could be Pruitt's stadium.
I think that he could beat out Fulmer in the tier of volunteerdom, but
he dare say it.
Volunteerdom. Ooh.
Yeah.
See what you did there. Double entendre.
Here all week. But that's going to be real tough. It's just generally.
I think I will have a better idea because, as much crap as we all give Butch Jones for being the cliche, anyways, let's not talk about it.
Yeah,
he did well on the recruiting trail, and we have yet to see what Pruitt can do
for sure
against Nick Saban, against Kirby Smart, against Will Muschamp.
Yeah, Muschamp is our dad.
We're in a terrible place in the world to try to win recruits, by the way. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a lot of really big schools around us, and it's a lot of competition. Now, we do have the selling factor of play now.
Yeah.
That's something we have in our arsenal this year, but we don't have a winning season yet to show these players. I want to see what he does on the trail.
Yeah.
I want to see how we wrap up the recruiting for next year and the year following. And
oh man,
do not jump the gun on this guy. Don't fire him in 4 years.
No, please, Vols fans.
But to wrap up this part of it, agree or disagree, Gavin, I'm going to mic drop for Gavin's comment here. I'm going to give you a love reaction here, Gavin. Sorry, I actually bumped out of something there. But he said Phil Fulmer is a legend. And heroes get remembered, but legends never die. That wraps up that one.
Amen.
I respect that hot take. Let's hit one more of these, and then we're going to wrap it up. All right, I'm going to throw it out. Kibby, this one's for you, buddy.
Are we doing it?
Marcus Mariota.
Yep, I knew it. That's the one I wanted to do.
Is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Agree with it or disagree with it. Give me your hottest take. Make sure I got everything I need right here. And fire away, guys.
Go ahead, Kibby. You want it or you
Wait, I'll go first.
Okay, you already know my answer, so go ahead.
Marcus Mariota. Here's the thing. The Jameis Winston debate between Mariota, it's over.
Oh, that's dead.
Done. I don't even know if Winston's going to be back with the Buccaneers come next year. Not because Fitzmagic is so real. It's because Jameis is that bad. I'm not eating no W's. Cowherd, you criticized our quarterback for quite a while because he's not loud enough. But fact of the matter is, there was a play yesterday. I saw Mariota go out, and it was a 3rd and short play, and they didn't convert. And Mariota came off the sideline and gracefully took off his helmet, so calmly. But you can tell he was flustered. And after the game, I mean, Vrabel's beginning to really respect him as a quarterback. Obviously, as a person, everybody loves him. Lawan's been in his corner for years. Mariota, to me, and Matt Pelfer comes in and saying disagree, very inconsistent. Those days are over. Look at Jared Goff. Look at Matt Ryan. Look at Kirk Cousins. These are all guys that have started off slow, very similarly to Mariota's productivity. And now they're some of the best quarterbacks in the league. At least top 10. I mean, come on. Matt Ryan, we're talking about Kirk Cousins. Ever heard of him? He just got a huge contract, all guaranteed money. And then, of course, Jared Goff. I mean, he's right there right now with the best team in football, arguably, with the LA Rams. The future, obviously, is unknown. If Mariota stays healthy, I think, and this is a hot take within a hot take, I think Mariota, if he wins the Super Bowl, could surpass Steve McNair as the best Titans quarterback ever.
It's bold, bro. But
I like it bold.
For him, also, I'll agree with Pelfrey here. Inconsistencies make it hard to give him that tout, as far as like, hey, he's for sure. But when he plays, the man's definitely a top. When he's healthy, doesn't have a bum thumb, but he's got an average QBR of 110 when he's healthy this week.
Dab on it, baby.
Baller. But
Top 10 guys.
it's tough.
Come on.
You don't think so?
Come on.
Bring it on. Come on.
Okay. So maybe after Breeze, Brady, Phillip Rivers, and Aaron Rodgers retire, there's 4 people he will never pass. We got Mahomes coming in hot this year. How
You
about
mean Deshaun Watson 2.0?
How about Cam Newton? You guys want to hate on him, but I still think Cam's better than. How about Carson Wentz? I mean, how about Matt Stafford, who's had a bad year because of a bad team?
Mariota is better than Matt Stafford. He
False.
might have. Stafford has one thing on Mariota, and that's a cannon of an arm. Look at what he's been doing in Detroit for 10 years. It seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been rubbing 2 sticks together by himself in the back. And here's the thing: he had Calvin Johnson.
We haven't talked about Cousins. We haven't talked about Roethlisberger.
Okay, it's a tight room. I get it.
It's a tight room.
But you can't tell me he's not better than.
Is he the best quarterback in the division?
No, I mean, now, if Andrew Luck, as long as he's around, that's
a
I don't know,
start.
man.
That's a start because I think he and Deshaun and Andrew are all. I mean, when Marcus is doing Marcus, and when he looks like he did the past 2 weeks, yeah, I think he's right there with him. As someone alluded to, consistency, man. That's what I have to see.
Exactly.
Maybe if he goes out and just owns the rest of the season, then maybe we can talk about it. But I haven't seen it yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, we haven't seen it because Mike Mularkey and Ken Wisenhunt are complete jabronis. I mean, you got to think about this too. We gave Tyson Helton, a hard time for an archaic and super old offense. This is what for 2 years. This is what Mariota was running. Like,
What are you saying? A running quarterback's not good in a 4 tight end set. That
exactly.
Has 2 power backs.
23 personnel the whole time. Or something.
I mean, Mularkey's doing pretty well for James Conner. If you haven't noticed, over in that offensive line is okay. He's a good offensive line
Speaking
coach.
of,
I'm just saying he maybe shouldn't be calling the X's.
Is he offensive line coach?
Yeah.
Steelers. Wow. Yeah, Craig's coming in here listing off. Okay, we get the point. All right, Mariota has a lot of potential within this new offense. I think within 3 years, and this is what Gavin said. I'll give him a shout out. I have to scroll up past all of Craig's.
Craig is firing away. Couldn't just put it in one.
But Gavin
couldn't just put it in one. There.
Shotgun blast.
No, but Gavin comes in saying disagreeing. 4 years when Breeze, Brady, and Roethlisberger are gone, then yes.
Then maybe we could talk about it. That's my argument as well.
Gavin again comes in here with the mic drop take. Let's get. We're actually a little bit over, but guys, we're here. We're gonna wrap this thing up. It's been a fantastic show. We're trying to keep this thing at an hour for our sake, for your sake, for everybody's sake. But again, one last time, we're coming to you live at Wind Down in Ottawa in Cambridge Square.
So good.
So do yourself a favor. Make plans. Guys, get your girls, get your family, and make plans to come here. If you want to impress some people, if your in-laws, or your potential future in-laws are coming in, take them here. This is the place to be. Great drinks. They've got Cambridge Square outside. You got an ice cream place. This is the place to come. So come over here. You can even call ahead. Make some. I don't know if they do reservations, but try and give them a shout.
They'll give you a reservation up to like 10 people.
Yeah. But check them out. winedownbar.com. Check them out on Facebook as well. But guys, hope you have a great rest of your week. Go Big Orange.
Thanks, Trey Wallace.
Tighten up. Yeah, fantastic. Check him out. And we are another one of the books.